thank you all very much for coming this morning. Appreciate you understanding the change of venue. We have some visitors in from Liberia who are here, delegation from Liberia who are here observing how we do press conferences. We've got two topics. First off, we're going to start, there's been a lot of misinformation out, particularly around the Ring video doorbell and our memo of understanding. And to provide some guidance and some clarification on that, we have Deputy Chief Jeff Estes. This time I'll turn it over to Chief Estes. Chief.
Good morning. Thanks, Brad. So what we thought we'd do today was talk a little bit about the what's been called the Ring app. What it really is it's kind of a neighbors app, and what it is, if you kind of think of it like the YouTube for doorbell cameras. So this is just a place where folks who want to post videos from their outward-facing doorbell cameras so their neighbors can see and share concerns, and also gives the police an opportunity to see the videos they post. So in our viewpoint, it's the essence of community policing. It gives folks the ability to share information that they want to. If they choose not to, that's fine too. We believe that it helps us solve crimes. We have touted for as long as I've been here, 27 years, that community policing is the cornerstone of what we do. And this is a great way that we can share information, that neighbors can share information between each other. So there's absolutely no real-time police monitoring of your camera that's outward facing. Even if you wanted to have us do that, A, we wouldn't, and B, it's impossible. It's a place where videos are just hosted, and that neighbors and the police as a neighborhood partner can view the footage that's out there. We've entered into an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. There's no contract, there's no sales or anything else that takes place through the use of the platform. And in fact, anybody, not just Ring cameras, but any company that has these type doorbell cameras, the citizens can post it on there as well. So I hope that clears up kind of what's going on. We've heard all kind of speculation about Big Brother type concerns about us watching in real time. That's not the case at all. It's just a way that neighbors can post videos that they choose to share information with their neighbors and us. And so in a real way, it's just a step forward towards the community policing efforts that we have touted as long as I've been here. So anybody have any questions about it?
So I just want to make sure that we're clear, because the city council members have some very specific questions that they were trying to get answered yesterday. And one of those was, what constitutes a consumer agreeing to give that video to CMPD or allowing you to use their video? Is that just when they sign up for the app? Is that when they get the permission?
No,
how does that work?
Think of it like YouTube. So who tells a person when they want to post a YouTube video or not? So if you have a camera, doesn't have to be a Ring, but a camera, and you think, hey, I saw somebody pulling on my door handle at 2 a.m. and I want my neighbors to know, then yeah, I'm going to post this on the application, and then so we can see it, your neighbors can see it, and it just helps raise the concern about, hey, be careful, make sure you lock your doors, etc.
So whatever they post for that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That you all do.
Yes, what the citizen voluntarily posts.
I think you answered that question. I think there was confusion about whether or not police would be able to access other videos from, but you answered that question.
Yeah, just what you post. That's right, yeah, and I think it's important to remember that while we're all police officers, we're also citizens. We have an interest in privacy as well. So we like the protections that the Constitution affords us, and so we're sworn to uphold those for that matter. So we're not looking at anything private, not looking at anything that we can see in real time. It's all based on the community policing principle of neighbors sharing information with each other and with us.
We talked to Amazon yesterday, and they said that they no longer offer cameras to police departments for signing people up for the program. Yeah. So that's not something that you all are engaged in.
Absolutely not. Again, free voluntary platform. There's no offers of cameras or reduction of prices of cameras. We've heard all of that. Yes, that's not the case.
Thank you, Chief.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. Appreciate that clarification. Now, being a police officer comes with a tremendous amount of responsibility. Every morning I wake up, and for the past 22 years, I've put on this uniform after going through our police academy and being certified by the state of North Carolina to be a police officer. The men and women in this profession understand this and work tirelessly to gain the trust of our community. Now, recently there was an incident in the Hickory Grove Division where we discovered someone trying to impersonate a police officer. Now, great work by real officers allowed us to arrest him. Providing some background on that incident is one of the lieutenants in Hickory Grove, Lieutenant Alan Green, Greene. This time I will turn it over to Lieutenant Green. Lieutenant.
Thank you, sir. Hopefully my shiny bald head doesn't blind everyone out here with the sun shining off of it. So as Captain said, on Friday afternoon, our Hickory Grove Division officers went up to W.T. Harris Boulevard. There was a traffic crash. When an officer pulled up, it was actually an officer en route to an off-duty job. He pulls up. There's a blue Impala marked sitting there with tinted out windows and a gentleman directing traffic, moving trash out of the road. He had on a collared shirt that said Federal Investigator on the back, what appeared to be a firearm on his hip, a badge on his belt. Didn't think anything of it at that point in time. He claimed that he was a federal investigator. About 2 hours later, the same gentleman reapproached that officer while he was working his off-duty job, engaged him in conversation, gave him a name of Christopher Jones, again said that he was working down in South Carolina as a human trafficker. Our second shift sergeant also began to have a conversation with him over the phone. In the duration of this conversation, figured out something's not adding up here. What he's telling us doesn't seem to add up correctly. So our second shift sergeant worked with our third shift sergeant officers, also made contact with our criminal intelligence unit, which is kind of what I want to point out too, is the work between our patrol divisions and other units within the department. The criminal intelligence division was instrumental in the success of this arrest. So our criminal intelligence division, along with second and third shift officers, worked this case for about 24 hours. This culminated in an arrest warrant being issued for Mr. Jones. Figured out that his real name was Antoine Jones, that he had actually previously been charged with impersonating a law enforcement officer down in South Carolina. Officers went to his residence, placed him under arrest on the arrest warrant, and then executed a search warrant that had been approved. Through the probably 2 to 2.5 hour search of his apartment, located an AR-15. We located multiple, like a DEA badge, FBI badge, clothing, very reminiscent of what our detectives might wear or what a federal investigator might wear if he's wearing in a plainclothes situation. Also, a part of that search warrant included that car, that blue Impala. Like I said, 2012 blue Chevy Impala with dark tinted windows and a South Carolina license plate. Looking in the car, blue and red lights, and also a computer mount and a computer that you would see inside any of our cars out there, and an air horn as well. So all those things are in there. We seized the car, we seized all those items that I mentioned, and placed him under arrest. Now, the important part about this is at this point in time, we don't know if he's approached anybody in Charlotte and presented himself as a law enforcement officer and taken any kind of action. But that's what we want to get out today. Maybe there's some citizens out there that have had an interaction with this gentleman, but just haven't spoken with us about it because perhaps they thought he was legit. So I know Rob had mentioned getting some pictures out and some things to get out to the community so that they can look at this gentleman and see if there is anything that they've had prior interaction with him. The other thing we want to get across, as we've talked about multiple times, is as a citizen, if you're being pulled over, it is 100% okay for you to go to a well-lit area. Turn your hazards on. When we make a traffic stop, we have to call it into our police dispatcher and they record the time and the area that we say that we're at. You can call 911, speak to a dispatcher and request, is an officer making a traffic stop at such and such location? The dispatcher would be able to confirm that information to make you feel safe. The other thing is we should always have our credentials with us to identify us as law enforcement, so you can request those as well. So those are the main things, just trying to get the information out there to see if we have anybody that has been a victim of this gentleman. And secondly, just to remind everyone out there of proper practice when you're being pulled over, just to make sure that you're safe and everyone's safe. Any questions for me?
I
Yes,
just have
ma'am.
a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know on the day you did this story, there were questions about, and I never heard back from SLED about what county those charges were out of. Were you ever able to find out what
Let me just double check because I want to give you the correct, and we are in contact with them. So it was Ridgeland PD, that there is a charge. But again, I spoke with our sergeant from criminal intel this morning, and they're still actively working this, even as the group of us are standing here talking. This investigation's not over. They're kind of going all surrounding states to speak with the different departments and make contact with them and see what else, other information we can gather on him.
And he casually approached an officer after
Yes,
the
ma'am.
whole incident?
Yes, ma'am. The same, and ironically enough, the same police officer that he had dealt with prior on the accident.
Pointing at Gage.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Is there any reason why he was doing this? To try and cause harm?
We don't know that. There was to be honest, there was very limited conversation with him at the time of the search warrant. So what his intentions were, we really can't say at this point. Which again is why I say that we're following all leads and to figure out where else he may have been and to try to determine that.
What's the
Well, you can buy these things online. You can buy them at stores. I mean, it's Halloween. People can come up with fake police badges at Halloween. You know, those kind of things. So.
Was he living at that apartment complex in Charlotte? Was he
It's our understanding that's where he was that night, and that's where we located the vehicle. So, as far as his primary residence, that wasn't very clear. So,
You mentioned pictures. Are you guys going to provide
Yeah, I
pictures
believe-
of the actual things that he had? Guys, thank you.
Great
all
job.
right, thank you.
Great job, Lieutenant. Yeah, we will provide a little press release here shortly with some additional context as well as pictures of the vehicle, the clothing and the items that were seized. As like Lieutenant Green had mentioned, if anybody believes that they were had any sort of encounter with this gentleman, we ask that anybody please call 911, and we will investigate that further. But with that, I will take any additional questions you might have.
Can you talk about how someone impersonating an officer on the streets in Charlotte, how that could be interesting? Can you talk to that?
Well, yeah, certainly it would work to fight against the trust that we work so hard every day to build with the community. And, it really puts not only our citizens, but law enforcement in danger. So anybody who believes that they were not having a legal encounter with an individual, we ask that they make sure that they call 911 and that we can verify that.
And I know you can't speculate, but obviously if someone has possession of all these things and they're stopping traffic, they're up to doing this at other times possibly. Presenting themselves as a police officer at other times. That would be what your assumption would be, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've worked hard to gone through the legal, been certified by the state of North Carolina, been a police officer for 22 and a half years, and it really sickens my heart that there are people out there that, want to take the shortcut and, presume to cause harm to the community.
Can you comment on the incidents? There was one Monday, I believe Archdale, and another one on Leesburg Tuesday. I think an arrest was made in the Leesburg case, but both of them seemed similar. They were kind of in the same area. Do you have any reason to believe that they may have been connected?
Yeah, at this point, we don't believe that they are connected, but we did make an arrest on the case from yesterday morning. We can get you that information on that gentleman very shortly.
For the suspect at first.
Yes, correct. That case is still open.
Are you guys upping patrols or anything like that in that area? I know those were fairly close together.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we want our citizens all across Charlotte to feel that they're safe, and anybody who sees something that does not appear to be legitimate, we ask that they call 911.
Have there been many other cases of impersonating officers?
You guys, you speak up.
Have there been many other cases of impersonating officers in the past? Is there a reason why this one in particular was concerned?
Well, this one I think was so brazen and blatant, and the fact that our legitimate police officers were able to encounter him taking what he thought was police action, really drew our attention to him. Okay, thank you all very much. Yes.
Related question.
Uh-huh.
CMS recently had a little bit of a discussion with parents about a book they were requiring middle schoolers to read on police brutality. Two parents came forward saying, not happy with that. One of them was an officer who was control. The book is going to be read by students and they will do the full review for it. Is there any comment on that, or do you guys have looking forward to maybe working with CMS or CMS to talk about that?
I would, in terms of reading materials and what's required in schools, I would respectfully defer to them on those decisions. So I think we'll stay on our lane on that one. Okay. Anything else? Appreciate it. Everybody have a great day. Thank you all for coming.